In 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
This is D.
I'm Lynn.
We're Project Airwaves. Welcome back.
Baby metal. What the fuck is that? What? Sorry, Ticketmaster's blowing up my phone right now.
Why are you getting distracted?
There's
we just
so
started.
many things going on.
We haven't even started
Lyndon,
talking
your Honda
yet.
deserves service with your expert on Finley Honda Henderson. Sorry. I feel like I'm getting sidetracked. I have so many different things going on, and then I try to set plans, and then I can't do that because, work is life, and yeah. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
You know what?
Life.
We all need a hug, a blunt, and a kiss.
I don't know if it's in
Not
that
in
order.
exactly that order.
Yeah, I don't know if that's in order. I don't want you to hug me, smoke weed, and then kiss me afterwards.
Smoke weed every day.
I'm like, no, stop it.
I'm having mixed feelings.
Go away.
We're back at it again. Lynn's tired. So am I.
I apologize.
It's okay.
These choppy, small episodes are a big portion there on me just because I don't have time because of this chaotic bullshit that is my job.
Yes.
But it will be coming.
Growing pains.
It will be coming
Because
soon.
when we first started, I didn't have time.
I feel like we had more time earlier in, and as it's got deeper into our business, which is this, it's like all the time is gone. Like I can't find out where I have time.
Quote unquote more time, but we didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So we were just sitting there like, what do we talk about? What do we talk about? What do we talk about? Now it's like there's so much happening.
I know I know
it.
what to do, and I know what it is that we can do in order to make this grow more. And it's just I don't have the downtime to do it.
Exactly.
Like I came here as soon as I came off of work. D saw me. I'm in my work uniform doing this. I forgot my mic, so I have headphones on with a mic sticking out, which is completely different for me. But
welcome to my old
yeah,
life.
it'll still make it work.
Well, and that's the thing. And that's what I mean. This is growing pains because eventually we are going to get to a point where we have time.
Consistent recordings, consistent uploads.
Doing my gaming thing. Lynn's got gaming thing. He's going to be getting more into his like physical therapy side of things.
Yeah.
So that's going to really take off. It's just once we have the time to sit down, articulate our thoughts more carefully. We'll make sure we give you guys some beautiful content. But since we're here now, we're going to record a thing, some stuff.
All right.
So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Lynn, how's work?
Work can... I don't know. I'm not trying to use profanity for this.
Do you want me to say it so you don't have to say it?
No. It's above me. When you use vulgar words, it's because your brain can't process smart things.
Oh.
Right? I'm throwing knowledge your way.
Wow.
Right?
That was mature.
Yes. So without word vomiting my frustrations with this piss poor of a job that I have, it sucks. It's not good right now. We got a lot of ups and downs with management and just this multi-billion-dollar company not knowing how to take care of their employees. I'm beaten up. My body's officially gotten to a point where it just can't hang anymore. I'm too tough for my own good.
Right.
I found out what's going on with my shoulder. It is not a rotator cuff tear. I fractured my collarbone, my clavicle. Didn't know that was a thing.
Right.
So I guess it had been fractured long enough to where the bone is healed, but it healed wrong, and it's been tearing into like the ligaments and tendons in my shoulder.
Isn't that what you love to hear?
It's just, I'm like, wow, so you're telling me that, they're like, oh, so by the way, your rotator cuff is great. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, so then what's my pain? Oh, so you've had a broken bone and it healed wrong, so it's tearing up the stuff and making it worse.
Thanks, guys.
I'm like, that's cool.
Thanks, guys.
So they're like, yeah, just try to rest it until you can figure it out. I would have liked for them to tell me that I tore something, so at least I knew how to heal it. I don't know how to heal this with my vast knowledge of medical stuff, because I do know a lot of medical things.
Yes.
I don't know how to heal a fracture when fractures are meant to heal on their own.
Yes.
But then I don't know how severe my fracture is to where if it healed, if I actually need surgery in order to fix it.
And it healed wrong.
So,
what do I do with that?
I tried to, because I noticed the reason why I decided to take it to the next step and get an MRI and try to figure out what the plan was is because with my job, it's very physically demanding. I was showing D these videos of we're doing strikes, we're doing takedowns, we're grappling, we're doing a lot of ground defense and jiu-jitsu, and anytime I grapple or train with these students, I'm noticing that my neck and my trap are eating up loads of amounts. It's the equivalent of I told you to walk around on your tippy toes all the time.
Yep.
My neck is so fried by the end of it, and I'm like, why the fuck are my neck and my trap throbbing? I couldn't sleep on that side. And then I'm getting this sharp pain every time I lay on that side. I'm like, okay, something is severely wrong.
Yes.
It's not the rotator cuff. I've been training it and strengthening it for over a year now. This can't be
longer than that.
Longer than that.
Since me and you were going to the gym.
I got misdiagnosed because when I was going to physical therapy, I never really got a proper MRI. They just summed it up to, oh, you have a rotator cuff tear, so we're going to work it like this.
That's what it looked like.
Had I known it was a fracture, you do the complete opposite. You let it recover. You don't do any physical therapy at all. So I probably made it worse, which is my own fault because I'm stubborn. My body, I will run it into a fucking wall 100 miles an hour and still keep going.
Fight through pain.
Yeah.
That's what we've always known.
I have a high pain tolerance, so when I found out what it was, I tried to start babying it at work. And with, of course, how companies are, is that no matter how much blood, sweat, and tears you put into the place, the minute you tell them that you're having a hard time and you're injured and you need a lift, all I said was, hey, I'm a little injured. I just want to wear a sling or a brace so I can help this rehabilitate. Because if it is a fracture, I need it to heal.
Yeah.
The minute my main boss, my boss, she was sweet. She's like, it's okay. We'll try to figure something out. I called off one of these days FMLA because I have it for my shoulder and my knee. They called me the next day, which they're not allowed to do. They're not allowed to do because I'm not a salary employee. I'm hourly. So you can't call me off the clock for business stuff. You just can't.
I see what you mean. Okay.
And we have these meetings every once in a while where in the meetings they specifically said they are no longer going to call us off the clock because they're not allowed to. But they used to do it all the time. So we signed it. I get a call thinking it's just my boss, and my boss is pretty cool. She's like, she takes care of us. Calls me and tells me, hey, so just want to check in, see how you're doing because you called off today. We want to make sure that you can come in the rest of the week because I was transitioning to training with the in-service team, the defensive tactics, because, of course, we've had 3 people get fired, and they won't hire anybody. So much shit.
To fill in, yeah.
Yeah, because we
load.
We don't generate revenue, so our NSOT team has to help the in-service team to fill in the gaps. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I have my arm in a sling right now just because, my arm's hurting a little bit. My primary boss and this other... excuse my language, is thunder cunt of a manager on the other team that is making everybody quit and miserable overhears the conversation because my boss didn't have a chance to say, I have you on the phone with these other 2.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I hear, hey, no, you can't come into work if you're injured. You have to show that you have a doctor's note for release. And I told him, I was like, no, I don't. Because my FMLA says I have this. They're like, but your FMLA is for a torn rotator cuff. It's not for your fractured shoulder. I had to do my research, but I'm like, you guys called me to tell me that you don't want me at work? They're like, no, we still need you here. And I was like, yeah, you do, because you guys are making us work mandatory 10-hour days to fill in the gaps. You can't afford to lose me anyways. I'm just telling you I have a sling on outside of work. There's nothing to do with here. They said, okay, we'll just come in tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I'm scheduled to come tomorrow anyways. I come tomorrow, they completely changed the schedule around. They're like, you're in reports, you're not in defensive tactics, we're going to do this. And then they submitted an HR case to HR to say they wanted to send me a leave of absence. So when you go on LOA, you don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not going to put me on unpaid leave
when
I didn't do anything wrong. Most of this injury has come from being here.
Right. For work.
I can't pinpoint where I got injured, but I know it got worse with being here. Because prior to this wasn't that bad. I told my boss, I was like, this is bullshit. You guys called me off the clock, which you can't do. She tells me, well, technically, if it is a scheduling emergency, we can call you and pay you for 15 minutes. I was like, where in the fuck? Where's that in our meeting? And you're telling me now these are just made up rules? They do this a lot.
No, it's... They didn't make it up. They knew about it. They don't want you guys to
They don't want us to know about it. So they knew that there was a thing. And I answered the phone. I told her, I was like, I will never answer a phone call from you again off the clock. And she started playing the pity card, like, I'm so sorry. I understand why you're upset. It wasn't intentional.
But it doesn't mean anything.
No. So
that's the problem.
I told her, I was like, you realize that this is a fight that you guys won't win against me.
Right.
Because FMLA is a federal thing. It's nothing to do with the state. It's nothing to do with the company. So if you challenge me on FMLA, you're going to lose. And you already have enough issues because this will be an extended story for something else. They have something big going on right now when it comes to discrimination.
Oh, yeah.
Most
company doesn't nowadays.
Well, this one, it's from the primary manager, which I'll dip into that itself. Yeah.
Once it's been
dealt with. It's cheese, man. It's gossip. They implemented it. My boss pulls me in and looks at it, and she tells me, she goes, so you're right. And I'm like, well, of course I'm right. What do you mean? She goes, HR said, in third person, does the employee have full range of motion? If they don't, then yes, they have to leave a medical leave. But if they say that they're fine, which of course I'm going to lie and say I'm fine. I'm not going to tell you I'm in pain.
Come on now.
Then you cannot deny him work. But he is not allowed to come to work with a sling on, because that's what they put, that I was going to come to work with a sling on. And then I told my boss, I'm going to go to HR and file a claim against that, because you guys decided to go against my family, which you can't do. And she goes, please don't do that. We're already having enough problems here. This is a mistake on their end. It was obviously because
they're hoping you were just going to be a bitch.
My primary boss goes scorched earth when she goes into panic mode. She said she was doing it to protect me, but obviously it's liability, because if I get injured there, they think it's going to come back and bite me.
I hate it when I hate it when bosses lie and
yes.
they know they're lying.
This is a fucking lie. She's like, yeah.
You know, no matter what you do, at the end of the day, you work for this company. So as much as you want to quote unquote defend me,
yeah, it wasn't a defense. They are using it as if I get injured there, I could push it on them that they knew I was injured, and then I got injured more through the company. I'm like, bitch, if I was doing that, I would have done this a year ago when I started. Well, I mean, my injury's been there since I got there.
First of all, if I put in for FMLA,
yes,
then that automatically tells you I have a pre-existing
injury. So
and
it's
you guys put me in physical harm's way day after day after day after day, and you don't think nothing's gonna come of that?
So that's why when HR threw it back in their face, I told them, I was like, you can't do this again. So if I call off, you cannot ask me why I called off.
Yes.
You can't pick at me when it comes to having stuff. If I come here with a fucking brace, exactly. So the main boss comes to me like a day or two later, puts her hand on my shoulder. She goes, you know, I did it for the good of you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I told her bluntly in her face, I was like, stop. Yeah. I was like, I'm trying to work with you to the best of my ability. You already know that everybody hates being here. Mm-hmm. We had a team of 15. You have 12 of us now, and we're all working doubles at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying my best to work with you guys, and you're only when things are survivable. You know we're all having a hard time, and instead of supporting and boosting us, you find ways to push us back down.
Yes.
And my boss, you know, she's like a ditz. She's like, well, that's not what I want. I was like, yeah, I understand that. Doesn't matter
what you want.
It's like telling Jeffrey Dahmer to not be a serial killer. It's just in their fucking DNA. Right. It's not that they want to do it. I'm not strangling you because I want to kill you. I'm strangling you because I just want to take some pictures.
I don't want to be a slave driver, but I gotta give you your 15
He didn't even catch on to that. Did you see the Dahmer thing?
No, I refuse.
Anytime when he's about to kill somebody, he goes, I just want to take some pictures.
Oh, God.
But then it's like him strangling them, taking pictures at the same time, and he thinks that's normal.
That's
for her,
dark.
That's how she thinks. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer was a dark person. He used to eat people. Point of the thing is I work with a lot of really good people, and it hurts me to my core to see that people that are really, really smart and good at their job are being taken advantage of because our management, which is like the bare minimum, they take the credit. They're clearing six figures doing nothing while we're doing all the heavy lifting.
They know you need the money.
And exactly, when they know that we're drowning here and we need help, rather than hiring more people to help us and boosting us by, hey, you know, here's a pizza party, here's something, it's, why the fuck are you doing this? Why are you like this? Let's do this. There's a big HR case going now because the primary manager for the new in-service thing that came in that has made everybody miserable, that's gotten 2 people fired and another one quit when we were already struggling to begin with, and then it's getting everybody else to quit and leave, including myself soon. She's been swinging her dick around because she knew that the new program, all the striking and all the grappling and stuff, it came from the company she worked for out in Ohio. So she brought it here because it's prior law enforcement. They trained us up. They could have just used us instructors to teach this program, but it looks better on paper if you have the person who is a master chief in this.
An outside trainer.
But she sucks at teaching, teaching everything else because she doesn't know Nevada laws. So on paper she looks great. In person she's trash.
Of course.
She talks a lot of shit to everybody and degrades people. We have a coworker. She's a beast. Her name is she's lesbian, she's black, she's prior military, kind of comes off like a dyke, but she's like one of the homies. She's super cool. She has your back on everything. She's really, really strong. She's really good about taking oppression and bullshit because she's always dealt with it because she's always been black, she's always been gay, she's been in the military, so it's like she's used to it. This lady purposely picks on her saying that she's ugly. She said it to her face before.
Whoa.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Whoa.
And this is with a company that is big in supporting the LGBTQ community.
Supposedly.
Yeah, she said she needs to wear a dress because she's ugly. She said she called her, what is it? There was a comment she made about offering her peanuts. And the girl, was like, no, I'm not going to do I don't want anything. She goes, why? Because they're not fried? Wow. Yeah. That same week, came downstairs. We had a bunch of, black female dogs, black female males, all training in there. Manager comes in because this is a tall, white blonde. She comes in. She goes, does this smell like fried chicken in here to you? Yes. So this was a consistency. And then finally at the end, it became too much because she made a comment to my associate calling her a dumb black girl. Saying, you're not, I guess you're not a dumb black girl. Trying to be joking. And she lost her shit. No. She goes, I fucking told you to stop being racist. It's not okay. They brought it up with HR.
Yeah.
Let me even, this is what makes it worse.
All the way.
They brought this shit up to HR, right? It had been brought up to HR that this person is trash. They're a horrible fucking person. They're racist. They're taking advantage of the company. They're doing whatever. They're making everybody fucking miserable. HR is like, okay, sure. Prior to when one of our other coworkers got fired for going against the same person, she just got cut anyways. All these HR things got thrown to shit.
Yeah.
This employee now filed the HR or ER, employee relations, says, hey, we have to have video calls with you guys to kind of get your story on it.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect, fine. First person goes,
Mm-hmm.
and then when she goes, one of my coworkers, she goes, pulls me aside afterwards. She goes, I need to warn you about something.
There's a setup.
Fucking setup.
There's a setup. Mm-hmm.
ER sits with you on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and our shift manager is sitting right next to you
Boom.
during this one. The one that is trying to save
Right.
this lady
So if you
because
say anything against her,
Exactly.
she'll just come in and edit it.
yes.
And boom,
And
it
that
disappears.
I've never seen that.
Yes.
I've never seen a manager sit in on an employee relations case that has nothing to do with that person.
Yes.
It's like if I'm talking shit about you or talking shit about Jen, and then Jen's
Yes.
sitting next to you while having a conversation
Yes,
the entire time.
because she has tenure.
I was so blown
That's
away.
really it,
I
yeah.
even look at my boss, which is the senior manager, and I asked her, I was like, you know this is wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, we need to try and save face with this because, yes, this is a sad situation and this is wrong
Yes.
because my boss she's gay. She's lesbian as well, but she said, I don't agree with what's going on, but I want to make sure this stays in-house because if outside sources find out that we have a training manager that's doing this, it will shut the whole academy down.
Yes, but how is that my fault?
It's not.
Y'all
Remotely.
knew she was there.
Yeah, from what I've been told, because the senior manager, if this assistant manager gets caught up, long story short, if she gets caught up and they fire her, it makes it look like the senior manager failed because she hired her
Yes.
to build this program.
Yes.
And the property leadership will see this and they'll just fucking attack.
Yes.
And they'll rip this whole academy apart and bring it back to the property. So that's why they've been wanting
I
from the
mean,
beginning.
but here's the thing. Now you're kind of playing
It's devil's
who's
advocate.
the less shittier person.
Yeah, it's devil's advocate.
Because it's like we're sinking.
Yeah.
Which boat do I want to be on? This one's not sinking as fast, but at the same time, if it gets another hole, it's going to go down. That one's sinking faster, but at the same time, it seems like help is on the way for them, and not so much for us. So let me jump over there, but I don't want to drown.
Dude,
it's not going to work.
It sucks. We're all trying to patch up these holes, and then you have these special people on the boat. They're like, no, we want to sink, but we don't want to drown.
Yes.
So they'll start ripping out the patches that we're fixing.
Yes.
We as a team,
They'll sabotage you.
will fix things, and then they will come in and just destroy it. And
Yes.
everybody's just tapped out. The girl that was like, she's like the admin for everything, even though she's just an academy instructor like me, but I'm more DT special. She's more admin based. She's like, I'm out. She's like,
Yes.
I will quit in May and just not show up anymore.
Yes.
She leaves. That is a pillar for this academy that
Yes.
will go to shit. This
Yes.
giant multi-billion-dollar corporation that invests money into this academy it's
We're disposable to them, and that's why I quit my last job. I couldn't I couldn't dumb down my brain to the level to understand why management was making illogical decisions. It's like you're making stuff harder on your workers, knowing full well your workers are already ready to quit. We're already ready to leave. You guys go, oh, you guys, they tell us, they hype us up. Oh, you're so important. You're so useful. X amount of years. We've never had anybody like you, this, and that. But then when it comes time for you to treat me right, all of a sudden it's, oh, wait, hold on, slow down. Well, you can improve here and you can improve there.
They're always going to
and this
find...
is that. Why though?
There's a video that I found on YouTube. It's regarding when people try to ask for promotions when they're trying to make more money, they get this mindset of coming in and start labeling why they deserve the money. It's like, I do this amount of work, I've been promoted this many times, I deserve a promotion. You
Yes.
deserve to give me money. But that's what sets you up for failures. Once you start demanding shit like a child,
Yes.
corporate businesses and upper management go,
Yes.
well, no, unless you want to promote to be in a new position,
Yes.
you can't get a pay raise. It's very rare you get jobs that will pay you more money that isn't part of cost of living.
Well, and that's what I shot myself in the foot because I did feel entitled, but that's because just like with you, I busted my ass for 7.5, 8 years.
Right.
And so after being falsely promised promotion after promotion after promotion, after a while I started asking questions and then I started becoming outspoken. And at that point, I was so over it. I didn't really care. At that point, I was like, fire me, I'll get unemployment.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't just sit there and listen to them literally say something that I know is a lie and just be like, yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
And
no, I can't do it.
And
dude.
I've gotten to the point, I talk to people about this now, like close family and friends, about like this company is just garbage. It's because, and I keep being reminded, it's because it's owned by investors.
Yes.
They're never going to invest money in the employees to be better because it doesn't make them money.
Right.
They think if they invest on the outside things, the shows, the
Yes.
venues, the concerts, building up the business,
Yes.
it'll thrive regardless if they hire trash. Because a lot of the people that are coming through this academy
are trash.
I'm telling you, there's people, and some of them are nice, but like you'll get someone that'll have like a throat tattoo with like a nose piercing and half their head shaved, and they'll hire them for security.
And you know for damn sure they can't do the job.
When I first started, you couldn't even have facial hair.
Yes.
You had to have tattoos covered. I had to take my gauges out. Now they have people completely.
You can come in however you want.
They don't care. They'd be flipping. What were we working on for? I was flipping burgers at McDonald's 2 weeks ago,
yes.
and now you're a security officer.
Because we're disposable.
It's gotten to the point now they just need bodies,
yes.
and like you said, I've gotten so out of it where I don't care anymore. Where when we start teaching defensive tactics, I purposely add in implemented techniques.
Yes.
When we're doing the ground defense, they're like, "Oh, we want you to teach them close guard." I'm like, "Close guard is when you're in a fight and someone's getting ready to smash you, and they're about to sit on you, and you wrap your legs around them to hold them there so you can defend yourself." But they're like, "Oh, just hold them there and radio for backup." I'm like,
"How you do that?"
I said, they're on top of you punching you in the face. That's why I said, I was like, look, yeah. So I said, okay, well, I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for over several years now. I've been doing it for a long time. My kid grapples. I'm around a lot of people that do this. I know techniques that you can teach 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds that will get them out. And one of them is called a scissor sweep. Super simple. If they're on top of you, you can, because they're swinging at you. You're catching a wrist. You're trapping an arm. Whatever. If I trap an arm and put my hand on their shoulder and frame my elbow up, it hits them in the neck. Right. I open up my guard, turn my hips to the side, and I kick my feet like a pair of scissors.
Oh my!
You will flip them over. So where they're on top of you, all of a sudden they flip over, they hit the ground, and you roll over on top of them, and their arm is stuck underneath, and you have them in an arm lock. It looks like magic when you do it. When you do it and you teach it to new people, they're like, "What the fuck was that?" Because you feel like you're the dominant one,
right?
And then when somebody sweeps you like that, they're like, "What happened?"
Now they're confused.
So I pitched this to my management team. They're like, "Oh, well, that sounds super advanced." I was like, "Look, I show it to kids all the time. My 11-year-old can do it. I guarantee you, I can do it." So I said, "Fuck it." Managers never come in there anyways. I started showing officers, and like fucking clockwork, within 2 times of doing it, we would like close guard, go. They would close the person. Scissor sweep, go. Boom, flips. Boom, flips. Bridge control. Someone would sit on them. They'd flip them.
That's the problem. You're making it better.
I made it better, and I had it to where I showed when my boss came through, and she's like, "What are you guys doing?" I was like, "The ground defense." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I don't agree with the whole them holding." And I was like, "Yeah, but look what I implemented in. I got 4 people lined up. I said, do a close guard, flip them. The person that's attacking you when you do this sweep gets thrown over, and all of a sudden they're now have someone sitting on top of them.
Right.
So it turns into something called It turns something called a bridge escape, meaning that you have to bump them, trap an arm, and flip over to land back in their closed guard. Wow. So each move mimics itself. Wow. So I showed him, I was like, if I can get this person to rep this 10 times, they could do it 1 time. And she goes, well, let me see. So these new officers barely learned it that morning. All of them did it 10 times. And then I would have them lay on the ground, close their eyes. And I said, someone's going to mount you. They're either going to mount you or they're going to get in your guard. And they're going to fight with you. I want you to flip them. And they go, okay. So they get there. We go beep with a buzzard. And they go in there and go to get mounted. And all of a sudden, poof, fucking scissor sweeps them, drops them down, gets them out, puts them in restraints. And look, and they go, was that right? And my boss just looks at me. She goes, what the fuck was that? And I was like, this is what I was showing them.
I made it better.
It's not that fucking difficult, but they want to undermine and give officers the bare minimum, say they're giving them training.
Yes.
It's garbage.
Because legality. That's all it is.
It is. It's
all private sector.
It's all legality.
They make up their own fucking rules.
Yes.
And literally it's like playing Monopoly, and the person who's running the bank is greedy and they never want to actually like play by the rules, so they just make up new rules. Oh, you can't get $200 the first time you pass go. Your first trip around, you can't buy any houses, but I can.
It's weird though, because so with this new program, about a month ago, it was our second class for the new program where we're teaching strikes, right? And prior to, security couldn't punch. Yes, that was just forbidden. It's never been a thing. It's never been a thing. It's always been grappling. Now all these properties can. You can do front. And I showed you the drills: front punches, knees, elbows, edge fists, all this stuff. So it's funny because this officer from Park. I heard it from one of my other instructors and saw the video. This officer from Park, they got a noise complaint that there was a 408, a drunk, intoxicated person breaking glass in the towers, like in where the elevator cores were. So they're waiting for this guy to come down the stairs. Dispatcher's like, he's coming down the stairs, just kind of like post up here. So he comes down the stairs, and the main camera in the lobby picks where these officers are. They're going to make contact with him. There's 2 of them. And this guy pulls his shirt off and gets ready to start squaring up with the officer and backs himself into a corner.
Oh, shit.
So he haymakers. And this officer that I had just trained maybe a week or 2 prior, he was already training in boxing. So he knew how to fight prior to.
Yeah.
This was just, what we taught him was bread and butter stuff.
Yeah.
So the guy swings, and this officer gives him 2 pieces and a biscuit. Whole combo. He ducks underneath, hits him in the face, hits him in the body, and drops him. The guy starts to fall. He picks him back up, knees him in the stomach, throws him on the ground, puts him in restraints. And I look at the video. I look at the video that my other instructor showed me from Park, and he goes, "Bro, look at this shit." And I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "Did he get fired?" He goes, "No, he was back the next day."
Yes.
Legal just said, guest swung first.
Yes.
So these things are being used and implemented in technique.
Yes.
So if striking is fine, then why can't I teach them sweeps and submission from the ground? You're telling me they can punch somebody in the face that's getting crippled down, pick them up, knee them, throw them back down, but then if they're under attack, they can't be taught an arm bar or a triangle choke?
Yes, because it's technicalities and it's over excessive use of force.
I'm under attack.
And I'm so sick of hearing that, like on little shit. Like I said, I've told you, I showed you how to put people in a chokehold back in the day when I first started doing security. Yeah. They're like, that's illegal. You're going to kill somebody. You're going to kill somebody. Yes, but does it help me restrain the person that's fucking attacking an innocent civilian, attacking me?
I'm not going.
Guess what, bro? At the end of the day, life and death.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you.
You're not going in there like, and I tell these students all the time. I was like, when we say these moves, you get other like people of prior security or prior military. They're like, we're really allowed to do this? And I go, think about it like this: you're using this as a tool in your arsenal because it's defensive tactics.
Yes.
It's not a guest comes up to you, asks you where the restroom is, and then you flying knee them in the fucking sternum and tell them restroom's closed, bitch, and hit him with the fucking elbow. Like, no, they're defensive techniques. You have to justify why you did it.
Yes.
This officer did this because he got swung.
Right.
Because this guy showed threatening demeanor of, I'm breaking shit, I'm taking my shirt off, and I'm swinging my fist. How else do you tell someone I'm going to punch him in the face? So
that's a threatening demeanor. And most people go into a fight or flight mode. Yeah. You can train all day long. There are some people who are just going to panic. And that's the problem. When you panic and you don't think your way through the situation, that's when you fail. For us, because we're used to just being on 10,
right,
going from 0 to 100 doesn't bother us. We're just like, oh, okay, it's a normal day.
I'm used to it, and I've gotten to the point now.
Other people freak the fuck out.
It's the reason why with this academy now, because it's gotten so aggressive. Not that I'm not against the aggressiveness. I do like implementing and giving these officers the ability to defend themselves in a better manner. And like they're going through it, and you can see it's like empowering. They're like, oh fuck, they never knew how to throw a punch before. It's great to have as tools and arsenals. It's just.
You want to help the individual. You're not helping the company.
No, I want to help the individual because I like that they go to work and they feel better and they feel more confident.
Yes.
I don't like helping the company when I know the company's using these people for these fights.
Yes, well, and you're teaching these people life fucking skills. Yeah. This is shit. We're not just, it's not like, oh, you can only use this technique while you're at work. This is shit you can take out into your day-to-day. So, yes, if somebody runs up on you, like most times they'll come at you from the side or behind.
Right.
You have... You're instantaneous going to go into, okay, muscle memory.
Yeah.
What do? I do this, pull him over, put this.
And that's where it comes into play, where it's like if we're trained to be able to do that, you know, you fight how you train. You train how you fight. I explain to them because normally on the weeks that there isn't DTs, which is pretty frequent, like I said, if I'm not doing the new officer training, I'm training legacy officers. They'll put me in either CPR classes, which is fine because I'm
still being physical.
I'm EMR and EMT certified, so I can do all the medical stuff, the tourniquets, gauze, compressions, AED, all that stuff. There's a class, VDI, verbal defensive influence, or verbal judo. It comes into play because a lot of people don't know how to mentally. You don't have to de-escalate the situation because you already know a fight's coming. It's what words can I use to prep myself for the incident? If I'm talking to this person, letting them know something's about to happen, I would rather if me and you are about to fight and I turn around, you punch me in the face, I'm caught off guard.
Yes.
If you come to me and I start telling you, hey, I'm not trying to fight with you. This is how it's going to go. I'm letting my brain know a fight is coming.
Shit's going
down. It gives you time to control your adrenaline.
Yes. Because
people come in and think, oh, I'm just ready to fight. I'm like, you're not.
No.
Because if I walk behind you, trip you, and get on top of you and put my fist in your face and say, what do you... There's memes, too, like, oh, what do you do if I break in your house and steal all your shit? And there'll be like, a guy looks and he goes, gets a gun out of the thing and points it at the guy. It's just like there's cuts for that where not people are not accustomed to violence when it immediately happens.
Yes. You have to deal with that overdrive, that fight or flight mentality.
Right. And
so, that's just a real quick catch up on what's been going on with Lynn at work. So, if you're tuning into this on Patreon, we're going to jump into the next part. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to have to wait for part 2. Please check out all of our social media, like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And we will catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.